Hey yo, what's going on? It's your man Ray True Life back with another amazing conversation. Welcome to the Herfador Lounge. In this episode, I'll be speaking with Kareem Fort, the creator and director of Smoke Big the Documentary, a collection of conversations centered around cigars with hip hop as the backdrop. Trust me, you've never seen a documentary like this. And believe me, Kareem was dropping gems all throughout this conversation. So, grab you something to smoke, pour you something to sip, and enjoy this fellowship. Run the intro. Everyone, welcome to the Herfador Lounge. I'm Rachel Life, your host. We're going to smoke, sip, and fellowship this evening. My guest today is doing something that's never been done before in the cigar world. Yes, there have been other documentaries, but they have not been done like this. So, please welcome the creator and director of Smoke Big Documentary, Mr. Kareem.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you.
Most definitely, most definitely. So before we get all into the documentary, I want to first start off with your journey into and through the world of tobacco. So, what was your introduction to cigars?
Oh man, my introduction was probably right after high school. I had a childhood friend of mine. We call him Big Rich, and he was smoking a cigar. And he came up to me and he was like, "Man, you need to get one of these, man." You know, talking mess or whatever. And he
Uh-huh.
had a stick, and I didn't. Luckily, I didn't have the experience that most people have. You know, that first time they smoke a cigar, the first
Yeah,
thing they do,
yeah.
inhale, bad, right? So luckily I didn't have that experience, but I remember it was Romeo and Juliet, and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I enjoyed it. It took a little getting used to, but over time, I started to smoke, with my friends, and that's when it's really started to settle in for me.
Right, right. So what was it about the cigars that kept you smoking?
The community,
Hmm.
I think, was the community aspect of it. With cigars, man, you can't rush it. It's one of those things that it kind of makes you sit down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? A minute and relax. And I enjoy that aspect of it. Anytime I just need a moment, and I don't have very many moments, but when I do have that moment and I have a cigar, I'm still. And I think
Yeah.
that's one of my things that I have to work on more is being still. And yeah, that's one of the challenges that I have right now. So I wish I had more moments, but right now it's just not the time. I'm busy as ever right now.
Yeah, because you got something huge coming. So you gotta work hard on that. But yeah, you like you said with cigars, you can move as fast as you want up until you pull that cigar out of the cellophane. Then it forces you to slow down because you can't cut a cigar quickly, you can't light it quickly, and you sure can't smoke it quickly. So it forces you to sit down. It gives you that time to reflect. That's one of the things I really love about them too. Um, so now let's talk about Smoke Big and what it covers.
Yeah.
So what all are you planning on? Well, first of all, what was your inspiration to create the film?
Well, the inspiration. Hold on one second, right?
Hmm.
The inspiration behind Smoke Big, it came while I was doing my YouTube series, right, called Beyond the Smoke. My videographer, now editor, and a very good friend of mine, my brother, Anthony, was saying that we have something bigger here. I was doing these interviews and they were intimate and they were just the way that I wanted, but the content was so dense and so great that he's like, we need to expand this. Like, what are we doing? We got to do something bigger. And he knew that I had done a film before, and I didn't have the greatest experience doing that film, so I was kind of reluctant on doing
Hmm.
another film. But after a lot of conversation, a lot of thought, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I'll go ahead and give this one more shot and see. But before I did that, I had to take a good look at the industry. I always sit and I mull over an idea, and I have this thing where I visualize.
Right.
And if I can see the thing from the beginning to the end, visually first, after looking at the landscape of the industry and see where I could fit in. Because at the moment, I didn't know that there weren't any documentaries that represented us in the way that we would like.
Right.
I said, okay, there's a space here, and I think I can fill it. And once I had that solved and I was thinking about that, I'm visualizing, okay, well, what is the concept? Where do I want to go with it? I knew from the beginning that it had to be bigger than just the cigars. I knew that from the beginning. I didn't want to do that. But I wanted to be centered around LA. I wanted LA to be the backdrop. This is my home. This is where I wanted it to center around. So I said, okay, if I can use LA as the backdrop and hip hop as the soundtrack to it, now where's the meat at? So I said, well, I wanted to walk in my purpose in everything that I do.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be inspirational. I wanted to be motivational. That was very important to me. And I know that the people that I could reach out to, whether it was through my own resources or through the resources of my producer, Maisha Michelle, I could bring that out.
Yeah.
I knew that they would have something to say. And it started to go from there. And it evolved to my trip to Nicaragua and sitting down with Indiana Ortez. I think she's on here too. Much respect to you, my friend. Thank you for everything. That's kind of where it started to evolve.
Yeah. So what are I mean, obviously, without giving it away because you have to watch the movie. What are some of the things that people can expect to see in this film?
Good conversation first and foremost. They're going to get some education, right? Because a lot of the cigars that we smoke from around the world are from Nicaragua. You know, a lot of people Cubans or like a lot of people like Dominican, whatever. And that's fine. But a lot of people really like Nicaraguan made cigars.
Right.
So it was important that I educate the viewer from seed to stick. That process was important to capture that. And I had been speaking with a buddy of mine, Art Garcia. I was speaking with, like I mentioned before, my friend Indiana. I was talking to her and seeing what she was doing in the industry as a woman. Understood, or I got a good sense of her values in terms of family. She comes from a family of people that have been in this business for, the longest time, forever.
Right.
So that I connected with her even before I left. I said, I got to sit down with you. I'm going to have these conversations. So you're going to get your education, and you're definitely going to get some entertainment value. I sit down with Kid from Kid and Play, and we sat there on Sunset in LA, and we smoked a cigar and had a conversation. And I couldn't get to everything I wanted to get to, but he told some really cool stories, for sure.
I can imagine. I can only imagine some of the stories that you heard, because over cigars, people tend to open up. You let your guard down when you're smoking a cigar. So
Yeah.
I can only imagine some of the conversations that you've had.
Yeah.
So what would be your dream interview?
Oh, man, my dream interview.
Because I asked you this when we were on the lounge, and I had to think about what would be my dream interview.
You know, that changes, and I'll tell you why. It's Steve Harvey, and it's also Ice Cube. Steve Harvey, because I've been following him a little closer the last few years, and there's just been so much information that I can get from just having a conversation with him and understanding life a little bit more from a different lens because it's
Right.
been so much and seen so much and have attained so much and inspired so many people that that's motivating to me because that's the kind of position that I want to be in. Not necessarily having 20 million jobs like he has, but
Right.
being inspiration. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Somebody that people can look up to and say, hey, that guy did it. I know I can do it. And trust me, the way my life is set up, for me to even have a film like this and to bring it to fruition is a win already.
Right.
So I'm married. I have 2 little boys, and the hustle and bustle of that in itself is a job. A full-time father is a job.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you add that to the passions and again walking in your purpose. It's a lot going on.
Right.
It
Right.
really
So why Ice Cube?
cute because revolutionary. Seeing the things that he's seen and making such an impact on a culture is inspiring to me as well, right? Because that's what I'm striving to do, is make an impact on this particular culture that so many of us as Black people, as minorities, participate in.
Right.
I want to be a revolutionary in that way. To say, oh man, after all these years of Black and brown people smoking cigars, there hasn't been someone to bring this to the table.
Right.
Regardless if 1 million people watch it or regardless if 5 people watch it, I think that bringing something like this to the market is so valuable and so important that it might inspire the next filmmaker to make something bigger and better.
Right.
You know what I mean? And make the industry pay attention.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I sat and I thought after I asked you that question on the lounge, I sat and I thought who would be my dream interview,
Mm.
and I came up with Cam Newton.
Okay.
Just because all of the adversity that he's gone through, and now the way that he's walking in his truth unapologetically, and I've watched so many of his interviews that he's conducted, and I'm like, I want to talk to this guy,
Yeah.
so that's the one for me.
I
Um,
see that for sure.
yeah. So when will the film be released?
Oh,
Have you figured it out yet?
it's, no, it's going to be released the top of February, late January. I'm working out the details on that. Because people ask me, where would I be able to see it? And I've toyed with that idea for the longest time. Where am I going to place this? And I'm inspired by Nipsey Hussle. It's important that, first of all, that I go to where the consumer is, first of all.
Right.
It was never a goal of mine to get on a major streaming platform for several reasons. One, like example, Netflix, they don't mess with tobacco-related stuff.
Right.
Okay, that's just a given, right? So we crossed them out, and I started to think about what would be the best move. And I think going directly to the people is the way to go with this particular project. So I'm going to have it up on my site. I'm going to be selling an exclusive Smoke Big cigar that's going to be coming out very soon. I'm in works of that. It's called the Director's Cut. It's coming out. It's coming out real soon, and it will have a QR code on that cigar.
Mm-hmm.
That cigar, you're going to be able to scan it with your phone, and it'll direct you to my site where you can watch the film. That's
I
one
like that.
watch it. And we're planning on touring with the film as well to different cigar festivals around the country, different cigar lounges around the country all next year. And that's where you'll be able to see it for now.
You just let me know when you come to Houston, because that'll be the second time I see it. Because
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get me a cigar and see it as soon as it comes out. Because it's gonna be amazing. I already know. I already know.
It's so funny. Houston came up a few times, so I'm definitely going to make that happen.
Good, as it should, because I'm out here. So come on. So come on. So what got you into filmmaking?
Well, I came from hip hop, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the first people with my partner Kevin Nottingham. He used to be a very prominent blogger back in the day, where rappers used to really like rely on getting their music out, and blogs were the way to go to do that. So he made some noise as being one of the most respected bloggers at the time, and he decided to come out with his own digital record label. And at the time, I was managing artist, so I would always submit my music to him, and he would always post it. He would just love the music that I would send him, and we kind of developed a rapport. And he said, "You know what? I'm starting this thing. I would love for you to come on board and help me start this digital record company." So I thought that was a step up for me. So I decided to do that, and we did some things, and we made some noise. And I started getting a lot of emails, Ray, like a lot of emails. It's fine, I gotta get put on. People sending me their music, and that was cool. But I couldn't respond to everybody. You know, I just couldn't do it. So my initial thought was to write a book about how to become successful in the music industry without a major label. Because at the time, independency was kind of starting to pick up and be a real buzz. And I said, nah, a book won't work. I don't think people will read it, especially from somebody that they don't know, because I'm behind the scenes. But I had an idea, and I was telling Kevin, I was like, man, you know what would be really cool is if I did a film about it. And he laughed, and we laughed, and I felt at a moment he was kind of laughing at me. And I said, Kev, you know, I'm serious. I think I can do this. He's like, well, you don't have any experience in filmmaking. What are you talking about? You're not gonna do a film? And I said, oh, okay. That sounds like a challenge.
That's exactly what it was.
And so I said, okay, because one thing that I recognized early is how important resources are. And at the time, so many resources. You know, I mean, in my brain, the way my brain works, I'm thinking all I need is a cameraman. I know a bunch of people in the music I can reach out to, and who doesn't want to sit in front of a camera? Right? So I did exactly that, man. I picked up a camera, and I went and sat, and I made some calls, and we ended up getting everybody from, who was in that film? Oh man, Black Thought from the Roots, DJ Quick, Saida Garrett, Dwelle. I mean, I had a bunch of people ended up being in the film. I got so many stories that we can talk about if you really want to get into it. But
hey, if you want to,
man, you know, it's the journey, right?
Yeah,
it's the journey. So we ended up doing the film, and we ended up touring. We did screenings in Miami. We did a screening out here at LA at the Grammy Museum. That was the first time anybody's ever seen it. That was special. And a lot of things just start to snowball, Ray. Like, it's the law of attraction, man. It's a very real energy. And, you know, my partner, Hassan, one of my producers at the time, ended up getting us in a movie theater in Chicago.
Wow.
So we were up there with movies like Riddick and all these other big budget movies, and you see demos up there on the marquee, man. And when you see something like that, it does something to you.
I was just about to say, explain that feeling.
It is surreal. It's almost out of body. Now, I understand that everything comes from an idea. Everything, you look around your room, if I look around my room, everything starts with an idea. The cigar that we're smoking starts with an idea. And I really understood that at that moment, that it just stemmed from an idea first. But once you put the work, you put the passion, you put the resilience, you stir up all these ingredients, and you're going to come up with something.
Yeah.
Didn't quit, because there were several times during the process where you want to quit because it starts to become overwhelming. You start to discover that there's so many hats to wear, there's so many things to pay attention to, that you want to throw up both hands at some point and say, you know, I've tried. And there were several moments where that was good enough. Just saying that I tried to do this and it just didn't pan out. But something stood out to me. Something said, no. Keep going. Keep going. You know, certain interviews don't go the way that you want. Certain things don't happen the way that you foresee them to happen. And it kind of throws you off your square a little bit.
Yeah.
But I kept going.
You got to.
And I finished it, and there's something about, and this is about 2013, 14. 2013, because 10-year anniversary next year. And I ended up getting a distribution deal with Empire at the time, because Empire at this particular moment was interested in doing film. They just kind of wanted to branch off and do something. It was just a great timing for me.
Right.
So the film ended up everywhere, distribution-wise, which was great. And there's something about seeing a DVD with that cover, and you're looking at the credits, and you're looking at the artwork, and you're looking at everything, and it starts to become real, right? It's a feeling that you cannot describe, almost like having a child, right? And you sit with it, and you're like, I did this. And then it becomes real when you take it outside of your home and you show it to people. And you're sitting there with people in a movie theater watching your film. They got out the house to come see something that you created.
Right.
And afterwards, we had it set up to where we do a screening and then we do a Q&A after.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people that came up to me, Ray, and they were like, I'm not even into music like that, but your film inspired me.
Wow. The
light came on. And that's when I said, okay, I know what I'm supposed to be doing here while I'm here on this earth. I understand what it is to inspire people, to give a positive message, to know that people, you can get to the next level if you keep pushing. You ever see that where the guy he's like picking like with an axe, and there's a big diamond on the end of it, and right before he gets a couple more, he would have hit that diamond, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, to inspire people to keep moving, to keep going forward, man. That's what it's about.
Yeah, that meme. I was just getting ready to say that when you were saying that there were times when you wanted to give up and you wanted to say, at least I tried. It was right. You were right there, right on the other end. You're always right there. Whenever you feel like you're gonna give up, you're right there. It's right there. All you gotta do is keep going, and you got it.
Well, let me tell you, Ray, that wasn't the last time I felt that. I felt during this process of this film, 10 years removed from the first film that I did, there were times, and I'm being completely transparent with you, that I felt that, you know, because you forget about the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the process, you forget. And, you know, 10 years ago, I had my first son. 10 years now, I have 2 sons. I didn't factor that in.
Right.
I miscalculated.
Yeah.
Right? And so dealing with that and making sure that I had to kind of refocus and understand why I'm doing this. And at the end of the day, it's for them.
Right.
And I'm not talking about from a financial standpoint at all. It is about being an example for them.
Yeah.
To let them know that whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Right.
About instilling those certain principles and values in them.
Definitely.
One, you finish what you start. If something is on your heart to do and you start it, you do whatever you can to finish. So I'm no longer in the space of doubt, right? Because as a filmmaker and as a creative, you get in your own head a lot. You think, who's going to watch this? You start looking at it, is this any good? Is this, you know, I've been doing this for 3 years on this particular project, right? man, I remember I did that interview 3 years ago. And so it's old to me, right? The conversation was years ago, but the content, what is the person saying? Is it still relevant? Can somebody get something from it? Is it of value? So when I question those things and I think about those things, I keep saying, yeah, I got to put one foot in front of the other. And that's another thing, is that I have to keep that in mind.
Right.
Filmmaker, independent filmmaker, you're thinking about every single thing: marketing, distribution, production, music, everything I'm involved in.
You got to wear all those hats.
I got to wear all those hats, right? And it ain't easy all the time.
Right.
Because you get lost in it. It's easy to stress yourself out. It's easy to question yourself. But again, I'm a man of God first.
Yeah.
So I make sure that I take a moment for my mental health and I have conversations with him.
Yeah.
And I ask him, if this is your will, if this is what you want me to do, I'm going to move forward. If you want me to pivot and do something else, I'll do that. And I sit with that. And I wait for a response.
Right.
Literally, I wait for a response because I want him to talk to me. Tell me that I'm on the right path, because sometimes I don't feel like I'm on the right path. And something will come over me, and I believe that is the universe, and that is God saying, nope, one more step at a time. Take another step.
Yeah.
Right? So there's trust involved in that process. You have to trust the process. And that's what I've been practicing as of late, trusting the process, pulling back on certain things. Because I was like, oh, I'm going to go to film festivals and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. It's too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too much. Let's just create the product. And now that I'm having the opportunity to have conversations with people like yourself, talking about it, because I haven't done it in the entire process.
Wow.
COVID happened. I'm in my own world. I haven't really left the house in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you can get lost in it, man. But I'm confident now, man. I'm excited. I'm confident, and I'm ready. I can't wait for you to see it. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be an amazing product. Just the way that you speak with such passion about it, and you put so much work into it, and you got so much passion about it. It's going to be an amazing film. There's no way that it won't be an amazing film. And I saw the trailer, so I know it's going to be an amazing film.
Oh, man.
So I know that.
I'm still a little nervous about that, truthfully. Because when you see the trailer, and I'm going to share this again with you that I haven't shared with anyone yet, and I will announce it soon. But the trailer's coming out on the 3rd, November 3rd. And that's the day that I let it go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean by that?
Yeah.
That's the time I can let it go, at least the first phase of it, to get people's authentic reaction to it. It was designed a certain way. And again, respect to my guy, Anthony, who we've been working together for years. We talk about it a lot. He knows the vision. He knows what I want to see. And when you see the trailer, it's a teaser. You don't get a lot of commentary by design.
Right.
I want to see if people are intrigued by it. Do they want to see more? Because if you want to, I will give you more.
I do. I know I do. So, I mean, and that's the thing that you got. Because how many movies have you seen where the trailer comes out and the trailer's like, oh, I really want to see this. It's got all of these jokes and all of this stuff, and you go and see the movie, and the best parts are the trailer.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're doing it in the way that you're doing it, that that's gonna be that's the perfect way to do it. That's the
Yeah,
perfect way to do it.
because I've sent it to certain people before the public, right? And it was important that I send it to people that are within the culture of cigars. I also send it to people that are just in the film business. Then I send it to people who are not in either one of those
Mm-hmm.
to get their natural reaction to it. And I am very proud to say that I've gotten 100% positive feedback. And the people that don't smoke cigars at all kind of mean the most to me in a way. They're like, I don't smoke cigars, but I would watch this. And so that kind of gave me a little bit of confidence, right?
Yeah.
Saying, I think, okay, I think we do have something here. Because even in the teaser, you get the hip hop, you get the West Coast, you understand that everybody into the smoking cigars. You kind of can put one and one together and understand, okay, there's something here that I'm interested in.
Right.
So we're gonna find out, brother. We're gonna find out real soon.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's you ain't got nothing to worry about. I can tell you that right now. So what sacrifices have you had to make in pursuit of making this thing happen?
I don't even know where to start with that, right? Like my time, you know, my mental space. And what I mean by that, I'm trying to explain that. When you have a concept for a film, I'm talking about just in my personal experience, right?
Mhm.
You live with it every single day because I'm conceptualizing, I'm thinking, I'm planning, I'm structuring, I'm organizing, not just the ideas, but with the people that are connected to the film as far as the production, right?
Right.
I have to gain their trust first, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
come out with an idea. I have to get people who will listen to my idea, buy into my idea, and are willing to donate their effort and their time to my idea
Right.
first before we do anything.
Yeah.
Has to happen. So when I'm speaking to Maisha, a black woman, right, who is very well respected out here in LA and different parts of the country, and I say, hey, this is my idea. I think you could be a help to me and can benefit this project that I'm working on. And she buys into what I'm telling her at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that it could just be the rapport that she and I have, that I believe in you, so therefore I believe in the project. Regardless of whether I might want to do things this way or might have a different idea about that, I'm riding with you.
Right.
So let's go. That's valuable. Anthony, the same way, who shot all the footage. Who was me, Anthony, and my photographer, Marcus Fort. We went to Nicaragua, a place that neither of us have been
Right.
to capture more of the process from an authentic place, to be in those tobacco fields,
Yeah.
to step foot in there, to understand, right? That's something special, man.
Yeah.
It
Yeah. It
starts
is.
there. And so when you're talking about sacrifice, it's believing in the unknown. That's really what it is. Because I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still evolving as a filmmaker, but you have to trust the process, even when things don't go exactly the way that you intend them to,
Right. Right.
which is hard to do. It's not easy. So that's why I say just finishing is the win.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe.
Just finishing is the win, and the journey is, that's also part of the win. Just the journey, because you have all of the lessons from start to finish. You know. Um, so speaking of that, what has been the best part of the journey?
The best part of the journey is connecting with people. The best part of the journey is just connecting with people. Being over there and understanding the culture in Nicaragua, for example, how much they really take cigars and tobacco serious, that's how they make their living. Understanding that, and understanding that there's a lot of people in the world that don't have the luxuries that you might have, and to see the joy in their face, pretty special. When I first seen the trailer, that was special. There are little milestones along the way
Yeah.
that you have to stop and just take a breath.
Celebrate those small victories.
Small victories, and understanding that, okay, we made another step. Okay, we made another step.
Yeah.
If you, Cedric, we made another step. Sitting down with Kid, we made another step. Because when I'm interviewing, I'm coming from a place of a fan.
Right.
My questions are genuine because I want to know them. And because I want to know them, I'm betting on the fact that somebody else would want to know them.
Right.
So it's being in those moments and trying to be present in those moments, that's everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Just being present is something that we don't do a lot these days. You know, we don't enjoy the moment. You know, we everybody wants to take a picture for later or record a concert, but you're not even really enjoying the concert if you're sitting there with your phone in front of your face the whole time. Enjoy the moment, you know.
It was those moments, Ray, that I just was like, oh, it feels good. Only after I discovered my purpose. Now that's before.
Right.
Once I understood why I'm here, why I'm even doing this, that's the win. That's when it starts to feel right. I am the most comfortable having conversations like you and I are having now.
Yes.
Right? You cannot tell by our conversation right now that I had a shitty day.
True.
You see what I mean? But when I'm sitting here having a genuine conversation about something that I'm truly passionate about, it's everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoy this. I love what I do. You know, I can't wait to be able to sit in a room with you, right? And say,
Yeah.
what do you think? Ray, what do you think? Like
I can't wait.
waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
You and I, this is the second time conversing. But what is happening is that we're building a relationship.
Right.
This is not going to be our last conversation.
It definitely won't.
Right? We're going to sit down, we're going to have a cigar, and we're going to talk about, oh man, remember that first time we had that conversation? And
Yeah.
now, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
I see all of that stuff, you know? And I want to, ultimately, my goal is to make us proud, first and foremost.
Right.
To move our culture forward in an innovative way. Because I do want somebody to come behind me and make a better film, right? A more expansive film.
Right. Right.
I would love that. But it's got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Right? And I was thinking, and I still think from time to time, even before coming up with the concept of the film, like, why hasn't this been done before? And I remember a friend of mine, I was saying that to a friend of mine, and my friend of mine said, because it was meant for you.
There you go.
What's meant for you is for you. It wasn't meant for anyone else on this planet.
It was meant for you.
That was God's gift to me. He put that on my heart.
Right.
Because think about it. Like I was telling you in our previous conversation, I don't have a budget to do this movie, which people are going to be blown away just by that alone.
Right.
Right? You didn't have $100,000 to go film a documentary? Absolutely not. But I had resources. I had people who believed in the vision, that were talented enough to go make it happen.
Yeah.
Because you can do whatever you want to do, and nothing's stopping you.
Exactly. Except you.
That is one of the messages that I'm going to be pushing. Because if I can do it, trust me, I am no genius at all. It's just something that God has touched me to do, so I'm going to do it. That's it.
That's your gift. That's your gift.
That is my gift.
And we thank you. I'm speaking for everybody because I already know. We thank you for sharing your gift with us. Because I'm telling you, this thing is going to be amazing.
Man, I mean, you know, from your mouth to God's ears, my friend. That is the plan. I hope that people get something from it. That is the plan. I'm designing it that way. Anthony and I are designing it that way, and it will come to pass, man. We're gonna do our online screening event, and we're gonna make it special. Again, we haven't seen anything like this. I do love it. Gives me a rush to do something that hasn't been done the way I'm doing it. So
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm telling you, it's amazing. So what are two of your most important principles?
In terms of just in life,
It doesn't matter. It can be life, filmmaking, business, anything.
Do what you say you're going to do. I teach that to my sons. Do what you say you're going to do. And I would probably say it's kind of the same thing as being a man of your word. I'm very passionate about that because your word is all you have in this world, right? You tell somebody you're going to do something, and even if you can't do it, you get on the phone or you call them and you explain why you can't do it.
Exactly.
But you 100% into everything that you do. Everything. As men, right? You have your word. And my wife always tells me, before we got married, been married 13 years. Before we got married, I said, look, I give you my word. Like, I'm going to do whatever I can for you for the rest of my entire life. If I eat, you eat. And I plan on eating.
Right.
And she reminds me of that from time to time. But I like to think I'm doing a pretty good job of that. You know what I mean?
I can tell you are. You're walking in your purpose, and that's something that a lot of people don't do. They don't know it, or they're ignoring their calling. You know, a lot of people just sit back and say, yeah, well, what if?
Yeah.
You can't listen to the what ifs, you know. How did you deal with the what ifs?
I mean, I understood after I did the first film, and again, being in a position of doubt, I ended up connecting to somebody who had been in the film industry for 30 years.
Wow.
And I showed him my film, and he reached back out to me, and he just praised me because I've seen so many flaws in it. That's all I'm looking at, flaws. He says, no, you're looking at this completely different. You're looking at this the wrong way. He says, you are now a member of an elite category because there are so many people that come up with ideas, with concepts, with all these discoveries, and don't push it. They don't finish.
Right.
Because you finished. Just for that, you have set yourself apart from so many other people. And that's when I really understood, okay, I see what's going on here. Because I get ideas all the time from different people. Oh, you should do this, or what about if this happened? Well, then go do it. Go make it happen.
Right.
Because you sitting here with all these million dollar ideas, but you don't have the incentive enough to get up and physically go make it happen. Because at some point you're gonna have to get up.
Exactly. Because if you don't make it happen, guess what? Either it won't or somebody else will.
And you're blocking your blessing in the process.
Exactly. Exactly. You definitely don't want to block your blessings because then you ain't got them. You know, so you might want to get them blessings. You know, it's again, man, that the trailer is so intriguing, and I know once people see that trailer, they're definitely gonna run to wherever it is to be able to see this film. So speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about the director's cut that you'll be releasing.
You know, that's a concept that I had a couple years back, because when people caught wind of me doing a film about cigars, right? Well, out with your own cigar. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? But again, it's kind of making those connections. So I connected with a couple different people, one of them being Brian Descent of the Provider Cigar Club.
Okay.
And I'm telling him my ideas, and I won't reveal everything here, but ideas on doing a cigar. And he's like, oh, we can definitely make that happen. So it will be coming. It will be coming. And I want to market it as a, you know, exclusive item, you know, maybe even a keepsake item to have. It'd be like, man, I was a part of this process. I was a part of this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very excited about that. And before I say anything else, I do want to say, Mark, thank you, brother. I appreciate you. I've known Mark for probably 40 years, who is on this line. That's my brother right there.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mark, for jumping in and spending some time with us.
Man, very good dude. That's one of my brothers for real. Yeah. And oh man, what is her name? She has been showing me a lot of support. Sudi's Girl 73, thank you for your support. You've been really showing support. I've been checking you out. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
So you remember when you came on the lounge and you were talking to me and Chevalier? That's his wife.
Love it. Okay. So much. Thank you.
So what's next? What's next?
What's next is just really tightening up the film and then presenting it the right way. I'm in the day-to-day of the inner workings of that right now, right? Finding the right platform to put it on when we do the screening. So I have working on that. I got some people working on that. There's going to be I'm not sure if I mentioned to. I feel like I may have. I'm putting together a Smoke Big gift box.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Right, offline, right?
Right.
Smoke Big gift box that's going to be valued at the minimum of $500. Of different items that anybody who loves cigars would enjoy. You know, I'm making some deals for some exclusive items. This one being one of them that will be in the gift box, stuff like that. And I'm gonna get your size before we get off here. Matter of fact, because I got one coming your way.
Appreciate it.
But I'm putting together things like that, working with a nonprofit organization to donate some of those proceeds from the online screening, donated to them because I feel like that's an important piece.
Yeah.
And just really giving people incentive to watch if the film isn't incentive enough. But you know how people are, man. They need motivation to move on certain. So doing that, like I said, the giveaway is a big piece of it. And hope people that talk about it and share it and get something out of it. That's the goal, man. That's the next moves for sure.
Yeah, that's an amazing way to do it. 'Cause, yeah, like you said, sometimes people, well, what's in it for me? You get to see the film. Shut up. What you mean, what's in it for you? You get to see this amazing film. Shut up.
I'm trying to bet on us. I believe in us as a people. I believe that we need to start supporting each other the best way we can. Cigar Duchess, what's up? Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for joining this live. There's people like that who I've reached out to during the process that say, I got your back. And that means everything to me. You know what I mean? That when I say, I'm going to support you, I'm going to share the trailer when it comes out, I'm going to do whatever. Like those little things are big things in my position.
Right.
Because again, I'm betting on us to show up. And when we show up for something, we do show up. So I'm hoping that that will happen with this and that we can really create a moment with this film. So I'm hoping that that's the case. And I'm going to do my part for sure.
Most definitely, man. And we are going to do our part.
Mm.
We are going to do our part. I know I've said it before. I'll say it again. I got your back. Whatever I can do to help, I'm all in. You know, I am all in.
Man, us just having these conversations, you know what I mean? Because again, I'm just starting to be in a position to talk about it. Helps a lot.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
it really truly does, for sure.
Yeah, you dropped so many gems, and you're definitely inspiring people with this. So we need one more piece of inspiration. So what advice would you give to anyone that's starting to get into or thinking about starting to get into the filmmaking world?
To understand that you have to have a real passion for what you're doing, because your passion is your fuel, right? Just like a car. You could have an idea, you could have a great concept, you might even have money and the resources. But if you don't have that one ingredient, that passion to get it done,
Right.
it will not happen for you. You will
Right.
not get a return on your investment. Period. If it wasn't for the passion that I have for creating, for having the audacity,
Good
right,
word.
to do something that few have tried and probably many have failed at, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Right. You're right about that.
So that's what it is. And understanding that, again, the completion of a long form project that takes 2 years, 3 years, sometimes 5 years to complete, that is the win.
Yeah.
If one person hits me and says, man, I enjoyed that, that helped me, that motivated me. Forget cigars. Okay? We all can go to our local cigar lounge and buy a stick.
Yeah.
If I motivated you to be better today than you were yesterday, right? Then I've done my job. My job is done,
Definitely.
right? I understand, like I said, I'm very clear on what my purpose here is.
Right.
That is to inspire and motivate people not only in Houston or LA, but around the world, right? I just happen to figure it out doing something that I actually enjoy. Because God wouldn't put something on my heart to do that I wouldn't enjoy doing.
Right.
Right? Because God knows me better than anybody else.
Exactly.
All right, Kareem, you love to smoke cigars. You love talking to people. You love being a source of inspiration. That is your calling. And I'm going to wrap all this up for you. Don't worry about how it's going to get done. Don't worry about the distribution. Don't worry about, you trust me, I got your back. And if I got your back, that's all you need.
That's all you need.
You see, so what is meant for you will be for you, no matter what. And I had to remember that during those times where I doubted myself, like I said, as of recent, right? As of recent. Like, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but take it day by day.
Mm-hmm.
Take it step by step. I'm still learning that. I'm still evolving.
Yeah.
It's either you devolve or you evolve, I believe.
Right.
So as I evolve, I'm learning, I'm paying attention. There's not to say that there are not going to be mistakes, because I've made plenty. and I'll probably make some more, right? But that's all a part of it, you know. Starting to learn to really enjoy the process, you know, and understanding that it's okay to give myself some grace, because that's important,
Right.
right? Because I'm not perfect. None of us are perfect. The film will not be perfect. There will be somebody that said, "You didn't do this, but you forgot that. You didn't do this."
It's always somebody that's gonna find
That
something.
it is fine. It's totally fine. No problem. But hopefully that may inspire them. You know what? I'm going to go make a movie. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. That's the goal.
Right.
The film's only 80, 85 minutes, 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You can't put everything in there. I'm saying that right now because everything ain't in it.
So that means you got to do a part 2.
Oh, man.
That means you got to do a part 2.
Listen here. I've had the idea, and I will see how it goes, but of doing Smoke Big in other cities, because there are other cultures within this culture, right?
Right.
People smoke cigars and they communicate and gather differently in Houston than they do in Atlanta, than they do in New York, or other parts of the world. And I understand that. So that's not lost on me. I've been toying with that idea of expanding it, Miami, different places like that. But the way that I do film, I don't know. I'll have to see. I've really toyed with the idea of really highlighting women that smoke cigars.
Yeah.
And just a short, I might do that. Because I feel like there's a light that needs to be shined on women.
Definitely.
A lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that I'm getting the support from, ironically, are women.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see that. I can see that.
and once they believe in you and they believe in your concept, and major shout out to Mona, major shout out again to my producer Maisha. Like it's a different level of commitment that you get from them that's really unwavering.
Yeah.
Right? That I've really learned to embrace. Women move culture.
Yes.
I invest a lot of my time and energy into women because I can call a woman that's associated with me that knows about the film and vent to them, and they will give me a different perspective and a different level of comfort and encouragement that I've gotten from anybody else. Not just our brothers, but we tend to not open up as much. We tend to be vulnerable. We tend to tell each other, well, suck it up and keep it pushing, where they are more nurturing, right, by nature, and they want you to get it out. They say, well, tell me, what's going on? Get all of that off your chest because I believe in you. And I want you to succeed, like genuinely want you to succeed.
Right.
So I'm so grateful for all the women that are in my life that have been my cheerleader throughout this process. Because they understand that, yeah, I'm on a mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Women, and I would probably say second to women, not excluding my mother, right, are my brothers. I have 2 brothers, blood brothers, that one of them that I work with, who's a professional photographer, who's brilliant, right? That you'll see his photos within the film.
Wow.
Because he was there at a lot of our shoots, and I'm a big Spike Lee fan. So I stole that from him, and I wanted to incorporate photography. So that's important. But I'm blessed to have a core unit around me that are uplifting me. I want to say that too to kind of go back to your question about aspiring filmmakers, have a solid support system around you, because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're going to want to quit.
You're going to come to those times.
Stop. This ain't easy. Making a film, if it was easy, everybody would be having films, right?
Right.
So
everybody would be a filmmaker.
Everybody would be, because everybody has a vision of something they would like to see, right? And I understand the allure of that. But that's probably one of the most important things you can have, is that support system. So when I say, Ray, I value you, I truly accept your support, I'm not saying that because it sounds good. I'm accepting that energy from you. I'm really accepting that energy from you. And when you tell me that, I can tell when people mean it. I can tell when people don't. Okay? I understand that part of it too.
Yeah.
You know,
people say a lot of things.
Oh my
You know, well, if you ever need anything, give me a call. And when you call them,
don't tell me that.
Right, because I'm calling.
Because I'm calling. When it comes, and I say, you know what, I think Ray might be able to help me with this. I'm calling, I'm picking up the phone. Because one thing that I've learned is the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah, definitely.
If you ask, you will not receive. Right?
That's a fact.
In the Bible. So I'm going to ask, because the only thing you can tell me is no, I can't do it. And that's
right.
Okay, because maybe that wasn't meant to be. But I'm going to ask. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you put it out there.
I'm going to put it out there. Because you cannot do this process by yourself. That's another thing. You can't do it by yourself. And it's no fun doing it by yourself. It's much more fun doing it with people that you love, that you respect, and they respect you, and they believe in the vision. That's fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all the ingredients of the process. I feel like that's the common thread, right, that we've been talking about this whole time.
The process.
It's respecting the process.
Yeah.
Because you've created a platform to say, hey, I got something to say. I want to talk to people that can talk to my people, right?
Exactly.
And what you are building is a community. That's important. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm talking too much. I don't know.
Nah, man, you ain't doing nothing but spitting facts. Ain't nothing but facts.
My grandfather, God bless the dead, was a preacher. And I've been told that sometimes I feel like I've missed my calling. But, you know, I just try to just be an example. I want to be an example. You know, I want to spread the word. I want different cigar publications. I want to speak to many people like yourself. I want the word to get out and say, you know what? This guy's doing something we might want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Right? Because, yeah, on the surface, it's a film about cigars. And that's cool. But there's not too much to talk about outside of the wrapper, binder, filler.
Right.
It ain't much else to it.
So it's used as a vehicle to get to other things.
Common denominator.
Yeah.
Right? It is a conversation starter. It could be a relationship builder. It could be all of these things. It is just a tool.
Exactly.
That's all it is. And I want people to understand that, and I think they'll get that from this film.
Definitely.
You know, because there's no other way to do it in my eyes. You know,
right.
There's no way I can have a conversation with Guy Tory and him not be an inspiration to me and hopefully to you, right? Because we're talking about his journey.
Definitely.
We're talking about someone who created a brand that is very well respected in LA, that is legendary with Fat Tuesdays, right? He did a film about
Right.
it. So, but to get the journey and understand that these things don't happen overnight, you know, I'm sure there's been a lot of times where he may have doubted himself. But how did you get over that?
Exactly.
That's what I want to know. Because
Exactly.
going through something, or you might be going through something, and you might need some encouragement. And because you seen Smoke Big, oh, I'm ready. I'm ready. I know I can do it. Because if this guy did it, and he did it with no money, and he got a whole family, I ain't got no excuse.
Right.
Right?
Right.
A lot of people are full of them. I just tend to ignore them because they're just obstacles. You just got to learn how to pivot. You got to know how to adjust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Learn how to adjust because you're going to have obstacles.
You just got to learn how to adjust and get over, around, under, or through.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, man. Lots of, man, look, I can't wait for this thing. I cannot wait for you to drop the trailer, first of all, and then to see everybody saying, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I can't wait for that, first of all. Then I can't wait for the actual event, the screening event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be special. You know, to be able to not only show the screening where people from around the world can have access to it for that one time, but for me to be able to have a panel discussion, right, after the fact. And I'm gonna work on that and to be able to talk about what we just saw. What did you to get that real-time reaction? That's important, and hopefully again to get people to talk and communicate, because I believe that's another lost. It's lost in just human culture is the communication, talking, right? We're too busy texting or we're on social media. Granted, we're on social media now, but we're having a conversation. You know what I mean? People are getting away from that. And I don't like that very much. I always have a problem with that.
Yeah, yeah.
I love to be able to sit and get something from somebody else.
Right.
I'm always looking to be inspired.
Yeah.
I want to be inspired. Because after this film, I'll reveal something else to you. My book is coming out. Now, you're the first person. I'm just spilling the beans today.
I see.
That I've been working on for a few years. And the book is called Becoming King.
Wow.
And I always talk about my sons because they are my world. And I knew my father, but I didn't know him as a man. I knew him as my father. There's a difference.
Yeah.
So I told myself that it's important for my sons to know me as a man. So this is an autobiography of my life. And I detail a lot of my ups and my downs, a lot of personal things that I've never revealed to anyone. But when I'm long gone, they're going to have something tangible that they might be able to pass down to their kids. Say, this is my grandfather, right? So for them to say, this is why he instilled these certain values in me. Because they're not just something that I pulled out of the air. It's for a reason, right? I want them to grow up with certain values and morals and principles, right? That may be just fundamental, but today they're not. People get on it, right? I'm very big on what manhood means, right? What that stands. I'm very, very big on that. So I try to associate myself with people who share the same values or like-minded values that I do. And if I don't, they're a waste of my time.
Right.
Right. So there's certain principles in this book, and it's there's some stuff about my journey as far as making films and stuff like that, but that's probably 5% of it. I mean, and so yeah, that's another thing that's coming out next year.
Wow. All right. Well, when it drops, I'm gonna need to get me a signed copy.
Oh man.
Uh, so because I can't wait to read it. You know,
Mm.
I've been trying to read more. So I
Hmm.
started reading in audio books and stuff like that. I've been
Yeah,
trying to read more.
yeah, there'll be an audiobook for sure. Again, just trying to walk in my purpose, Ray. Like that's what why we're all here. First,
Yeah.
to discover our purpose, right? Because everybody doesn't discover it at the same time, right?
Yeah.
We have to take time to find out what that is because everybody has one. I think a lot of people share the same purpose, at least certain aspects of it, right? One
Hmm.
of them, I think, is giving. You got to give. If you understand giving, the more you give, the more you will receive,
Yeah.
right? So many people are just focused on taking. They just want what they can get. But if you switch that mentality to what can I give? How can I help you? How can I be of service? Is there anything that I can do to help you? You will
Exactly.
find out what you get in return is tenfold.
I am a walking billboard for that right now. You know, just the things I've started to do in my life to help other people however I can, you know, be it through the podcast or through the lounge or just like, hey, how can I help this person? I ain't got no money, but I can tell people, I can give you advice if I have it. If I've been through something, I can show you how to get there or anything.
When you do that, you'll find out that a lot of times what people need isn't money, right? They think that's what they need.
Right.
But a lot of times it could just be listening,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people don't have an outlet for someone to listen to them. They're all, filled with all these emotions and all these things, and they don't have an outlet, right?
Exactly.
They haven't found that outlet. So sometimes they just want to be heard. Most people just want to be heard. And I don't know if you're married or not, but women, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, just want to be heard.
I am, and you're right.
Care if you agree or disagree. If
Shut
they
up and listen.
like they've been heard, you're good, right? I can disagree with you, but if I hear you, I process what you're saying, but we might share a different of opinion. That's fine. We're still friends,
Right.
right? So that's all. People just want to be heard a lot of the times, man. But it's that giving. What could I do for you? How can I help you? This is my way of really giving. This film is my gift to people that might need it. I don't know what your personal life is or what you might be going through or what the next person might be going through, right? I just use cigars as a way to bring you in,
Yeah.
okay? I'm just gonna bring you in. But when I got you, now I'm gonna give you something that you might be able to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's far beyond wrapper, binder, filler.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So after I give you the gift, then maybe we'll smoke a cigar.
Exactly. And talk about what you got from it.
You see what I'm saying? Because the most important thing, I believe, one of the most important things that's been very valuable to me are relationships.
Yeah.
My relationships have been the main key to unlock so many doors that I've been able to walk through.
Yeah.
It's
People
just
don't understand that.
the relationships, being genuine, being honest, being kind, fundamentals, right? Being kind, being respectful. You will be surprised the things that you can get just because someone likes you. Like, I don't know what you got going on. I don't know about your product. I don't know, but I like you as a person.
Right.
Right? That's a magnet. People want to be associated with with kind people, with generous people, because that rubs off.
Yeah,
Generosity is contagious.
it is.
You see what I'm saying? So if you're staying in that state of mind, you understand how the universe works. Like I mentioned early on in our conversation about the law of attraction,
Right.
how energy works, and we're all energy. It will benefit you in life greatly. I am a living testimony of that. I got stories, man, so many stories of how one thing will lead to another. And you feel like, how does this lead to that? It's the energy that you're drawing to yourself,
Yeah.
right? When you have to speak things verbally, you're putting out a certain energy out into the universe, right?
Right.
I accept all positive energy. I expect, all these things, all these daily affirmations, all these things. You will be surprised what comes into your world.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I truly believe that, man. Matter of fact, I know it's a fact. It's
Well, yeah,
happening.
it's definitely a fact. Yeah, it's definitely a fact. And like I said, I'm living it. You know, I'm living it now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got so many stories, man, about that. I remember I did my first cigar event, me and Maisha, and we called it "This Is How We Do It," right? And some of the artwork, it was all hip hop and cigars, and some of the artwork for the promo was Kid and Play. Was Kid and Play, and I've always thought, man, I would love to sit down with that guy. He's always seemed like a ball of energy, and this is prior to me meeting him and all that. Fast forward, I'm sitting having a conversation with him, hearing about his stories about he got signed, how he got his record deal in the 80s, right? Full circle. Things like that have happened over and over and over again. So
All that good energy.
in perspective, right? As you're taking that step, that one step at a time, remember the energy you put out is the energy you will get back. It may not be when you want it, but it's always on time.
Definitely.
For sure.
Definitely. Most
Yes,
definitely.
yes, sir.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
Man. Somebody mentioned legacy in the comments. It is legacy, right? What can you pass on to someone else? What can you leave behind once you're no longer here? I
Right.
think I'm 47 years old. I think about that a lot, right? And then you mentioned, hey, I may not have the money, but I might have something that might be more valuable than money.
Exactly.
Right? We're so caught up in this materialistic world. What can I get? Shoes, clothes, cars, which is all great. I love all those things. But there's so many more valuable things in this world
Yeah.
that people need to understand and often are overlooked. Look around. If you got somebody that you love, that you care about, somebody that cares about you, you already win. You already, That's it, bro.
Yeah. You already won.
That's it. And I just want to spread that word. Like I said, I use cigars as a disguise to do
And it works.
that. I think so.
Yeah, most definite.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Kareem, man, I appreciate you accepting my invitation.
Yeah, for sure,
This has been an amazing conversation.
man.
Uh, I, I I really do appreciate it. And when I tell you I will do whatever I can and I'll support you however I can, I mean that, you know.
Again, that means so much. So now I got two people that believe in it. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I love that, man. I appreciate it. Um, Trailer comes out November 3rd.
November 3rd, the trailer comes out.
Yes, sir.
Gonna knock your eyebrows off.
Man,
That's what's gonna happen.
let's hope that everybody watching this will follow Smoke Big Doc. Will share the trailer when it comes out. We'll talk about it and continue to support because I got some really good things in store. And hopefully you can, join the journey, man. Let's do it.
Definitely follow at Smoke Big Doc on Instagram.
Indeed.
And you got a TikTok now, right?
I got a TikTok now, same handle, Smoke Big Doc.
Smoke Big Doc on TikTok.
Listen, man, I'm not the social media guy, but I got a 12-year-old son, and he said, "Daddy, you need a TikTok." Everybody's on. I said, "TikTok? Yeah, man." All right, whatever works, man.
You ain't gonna be doing no dances on TikTok, are you?
I guarantee you. One thing is for sure, two things for certain. Let me tell you something. You ain't gonna see me dancing on TikTok ever at all. Period. That's where I draw the line. Ain't it?
I had to ask.
Sure. Ain't happening.
Oh man, I had to ask. Again, man, I really appreciate you. I'm excited about the trailer. I'm excited about the film. I can't wait to see it, share it. Go see the film and all of that, man. I can't wait. And talk about it after. Because we're going to have to sit down and talk about it after.
I'm hoping that the trailer does spark conversation. What is this about? I want to see it. What's going on? Whoa. Hopefully that's the conversation. That's the next conversation I want to have. And I want to hear from the people, man. Something new. Uncharted territories, man. It's been long overdue.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon.
All right. You have a good night.
You too, my brother. Peace.